Gang's all here, huh? We waiting on anybody? Okay, good. All right, we're at a Thursday game week. It seems like forever this game is taken to get here. Without that fourth game, it's a little bit different, but happy to be hitting Thursday. Look forward to go out there and practicing today. With that, I'll open it up.
Coach, I mean, we've seen all the upgrades that Cleveland has made. You see the two running backs that they got, Odell Beckham returning to the lineup for Cleveland. What kind of challenges do you see them presenting your defense?
Yeah, well, listen, they are what they are, and that's one of the top offenses in this league. At least that's how we see them. The O-line's intact. They didn't really have that in the playoff game last time we played them. Their left tackle got hurt, so that's one change. Number 13 changes a lot of things. I know that firsthand, going against them every day in practice. So that's a big challenge. And along with that, the tight ends, Landry, and those two running backs. So you're looking at an offense right out of the gates, first game, that's going to be a huge challenge for our guys. But we've been practicing on it for quite a while. Hopefully we're up for the task, and we'll see what happens.
What's this going to look like, assuming Tyron doesn't play Sunday? We've not seen that other than that game at the end of the regular season last year when a bunch of guys were sitting. What's this going to look like for you guys defensively without him, assuming he doesn't play?
Yeah, and it's up in the air right now, and that's a little bit challenging to game plan for. But we've got plan A and plan B. We would handle it no different, obviously, than somebody getting hurt in the middle of the game. Guys got to be ready to step up. The advantage we have, I guess, versus that particular scenario is we're practicing with guys that we think might have to play. So we'll move guys around, do what we have to, try to do most of the things that we do with Tyron, but certainly some of those things are going to change, and some of the calls might alter because of that.
Yeah, and assuming he does play, he's missed some time now.
Yeah.
What's reasonable to expect from him? Can he play a full game at this point, assuming he does make it back?
Yeah, look, that's always we don't know, right? But this dude we're talking about is a special guy, in my opinion. So we'll see. But I think we got to be fair to him. We always say this, sometimes you got to protect the players from themselves. So we'll be careful there. Coach Reed and I have talked about it with Rick. We'll see where we're at when the time comes.
What's your confidence level that you might even have him back tomorrow for practice? Are you guys there yet?
Yeah, I don't know that yet. I mean, I know that was one of the scenarios, but we won't know that really until tomorrow. Won't know.
Sorry. How have you communicated with Tyron? How has he been a part of meetings virtually?
Yeah.
Like Zoom
I mean, thank God we're way ahead in this whole Zoom thing. Otherwise, we'd be trying to figure that out. But yeah, he's been, so the camera sits right in front of me as I address it, and he's right there. I get to talk to him a little bit in the meetings. But he hasn't missed a beat. Certainly he's chomping at the bit, as you can imagine. He just loves playing this game, and he misses his guys. So we're just in we'll find out.
You talked about Cleveland set up the offensive line. How do you think the Chiefs' offensive line, with the new rookies added in, how do you think they prepared you all for what you're going to see this weekend?
The Chiefs' offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, with your defensive front going up against them, how do you think, with the way that the Chiefs have their offensive line set up, it's kind of prepared you for Cleveland's offensive line?
Well, we had a bunch of reps where we did go against our guys, which is what you got to do, right? Now the scheme's different. That's a little bit of a challenge. I mean, what our guys do offensively here in Kansas City is pretty different than what Cleveland does, the attack. And so that we've tried to simulate that as much as we can. I don't know if that's what you're asking about the young guys that work on the scout team, but and that's a challenge every week. We'll go through that a number of times this year with offenses that are really completely different than what our guys do. But that's something we got to do as players, as coaches every week.
Chubb and Hunt are two of the best at breaking tackles and yards after contact. He's tackling, especially in game one, even more of an emphasis facing.
Yeah, real concerning. I mean, we had the advantage of 3 preseason games. Didn't have those last year. I can already give you the stats. Last year, when we didn't have a preseason game, we had 14 missed tackles in that Houston game. So is that concerning? Yes. We had some preseason games, but our first group didn't play a lot. We've worked on it. Anytime we put the pads on, we're tackling. The only thing we're not doing is tackling guys to the ground. But it's in the forefront of coaches and players' work ethic and concern right now.
How did you guys grade out in the playoff game against them?
In terms of actually pretty good. Yeah. The other thing we were good at was yards after catch in that particular game. I pointed that out the other day. We need both of those to happen again in order for us to have a chance at slowing these guys down.
You know, as you
Talk
talk
your
about your
defensive-
front seven versus an offensive line that wants to assault, they want to run the football, they want to
Yeah.
control the game. Can you talk about that?
Well, I mean, what we'll have to do is sometimes make it a front eight, sometimes make it a front seven. That's part of the game within the game. But, hopefully with where we got guys lined up and, some new people, hopefully that helps us. We won't know till we get in there. They have some things that they kind of stick to that you're probably going to see every game from them. But they got enough little wrinkles in there. We'll have to find out what those are against us. I just remember them running the football pretty effectively in that third quarter in the playoff game. So my guess is we'll see some of those plays.
So I want to ask you about your defensive ends. We've been talking about the move for Chris Jones for 4 months now. How eager are you to see that full body of work, and then what are reasonable expectations for Frank Clark, considering he's been...
Yeah, it's a good point about Frank. I mean, he got some reps yesterday. Hopefully we get him a few more. I mean, Frank's really like Tyron. We haven't practiced for a long time. You want to be careful getting him in the game. So we'll tread lightly with the number of plays. We're optimistic that we could get him for Sunday, but we won't know that until the end of the week. Hopefully no setbacks. Chris being at the end, the other thing we missed, Chris was out that 1 week prior to Minnesota. The one good thing about the Minnesota game was very similar in style, that offense in Cleveland's. Unfortunately, Chris wasn't there for that one. But he's working at it. Look, we got to go out there and play. There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be first game mistakes like we get all the time. He's at a new position. Hopefully we can make enough good plays to offset that. That'd be the challenge.
You talk all season about getting better in the red zone.
Yeah.
You and your guys. And where are you guys at? How comfortable are you right now?
Yeah,
in this game?
the only indicator we had was we had when Minnesota drove right down in the red zone in that first game, in the last game that we had, and we did get it done. We stopped them in 3, and they kicked the field goal. I hope that's indicative of where we're headed, but we won't know until we get in the game. I mean, we've worked the crap out of it, is all I can tell you. We'll find out what happens on Sunday.
Coach, you mentioned earlier about Beckham and your experience practicing against him, and he changes a lot of things. What are those things that you believe your cornerback group needs to be aware of?
Yeah, listen, he is the ultimate game wrecker, in my opinion. He can wreck a game from an offensive standpoint. He can catch the ball for a 5-yard slant, and it can be 60. He can catch a hook and make a guy miss, and it can be 80. So that's a concern. We'll have our eyeballs on it. Corners, safeties, everybody's talking about it. And yet, listen, when I say that, they got some other weapons too. They're running the football. You can't commit too many guys to Odell Beckham. You can't tackle all those running backs. So we'll play that game within the game, but we're aware of how talented he is.
Coach, at linebacker, Willie's out, obviously, for a while, and people look at the depth chart and they get excited about whose name is on the top of the depth chart. A lot of folks around here are excited about your rookie, Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
How ready is he to be called on to play a lot of snaps at this point without having really much experience under his belt?
Yeah, you won't know until you get in a real game. The only thing I can comment and say is this, is when he played in the 3 preseason games, it felt like to me that the game wasn't too big for him, if that's any indication. I hope that, I don't see why that would change in this game. We're confident in what he does mentally. Will he make rookie mistakes? Yeah, they all do, right? They're all going to make them. But he plays alongside Guy Hitch, who can help him out a lot, and Ben. So I think the combination of those 3 hopefully will get the job done. But we're anxious to see what Nick can do.
One of the things with Chris Jones moving positions is obviously he's got to set the edge more.
Yeah.
This team in particular that runs a lot. Where is he in that?
Now, he's good there. The thing they may try to do is run it away from him. I don't know. I'm sure they have a plan, one way or the other. The one thing that did happen 2 years ago when we played Minnesota here in a real game, Chris happened to play an end in that game. So Kevin over there on offense, I think he's got a plan for what he's going to do. We'll just have to have a better plan somehow.
Anyone else?
Good?
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. Yeah.